As mayor, call this meeting to order with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Don, if you would.
Murder, absent. Riley.
Here.
Schneider.
Here.
Sofa.
Here.
Stoops.
Here.
Wilson.
Here.
Zukas. Here.
Can we get a motion to excuse the absence?
I'll make that motion, excuse the absence of Kirsten.
Support.
Riley.
Yes.
Schneider.
Yes.
Sofa.
Yes.
Stoops.
Yes.
Wilson.
Yes.
Zukas. Yes. Murder, absent.
Non-agenda items we have none received. City administration. Donna?
I have nothing.
Chief?
We heard the school liaison officer. She's been on for 2.5 weeks now. She was gonna come tonight, but today's her day off. She's rotating at the school so she can be there different days. I'm planning on her coming in 2 weeks to the next meeting to introduce her, if I haven't introduced you. She's working out great. The school loves her. She's big on technology. Gets along with the kids very well. Today is my 1-year anniversary of being hired here, so again, I appreciate everybody. It's been a great year. I think I've accomplished a lot. I think our department's accomplished a lot. I think the city's let me accomplish a lot, and hopefully when I come to you later, we'll accomplish more. But thank you very much for the chance, and I've loved every minute of it, and I hope to make many more years.
Sounds good. Thank you. Do we have any amendments to the agenda?
We have one on the new business number 4 to set the Halloween hours. No further changes. I'll make a motion to adopt the agenda as amended.
Support. Schneider.
Yes.
Sofa.
Yes.
Stoops.
Yes.
Wilson.
Yes.
Zukas. Yes. Murder, absent. Riley.
Yes. Hopefully everybody had a chance to look over the meetings from October the 2nd. Was there any questions or corrections? If not, I will take a motion.
Make a motion that we approve the regular meeting minutes of October the 2nd, 2018.
Support.
Sofa.
Yes.
Stoops.
Yes.
Wilson.
Yes.
Zukas. Yes. Murder, absent. Riley.
Yes.
Schneider.
Yes. Okay, we have Paul from Stuart Bouvet Whipple PC. Paul, you have the floor.
Thank you. Want me up here or?
Oh, whatever, yeah, that's fine. Absolutely. That's great.
Okay. I handed out a copy of your audit report. As you know, you contract with our firm each year to do your annual financial audit. We come out and spend about a week with your staff. The staff is very cooperative. We get along very well, not only during the audit period, but throughout the year. We've talked to your staff and work back and forth. We'll go over some numbers. If you turn in just past the table of contents in the book, you'll say page 1. It says independent auditor's report on the top. Stuart Bouvet Whipple at the very top. This is where we give an opinion on whether your financial statements are presented in accordance with what the general accepted accounting principles. And you have what they call an unmodified or clean opinion. That's what you're striving for. Once you approve this, we'll send it to the Department of Treasury. That's one of the checks that they look for when what type of an opinion you receive. And again, it's unmodified or a clean opinion, and that's what you're striving for. Page 3, 4, and 5, and 6 is what they call the management discussions and analysis letter. I'm not going to spend a lot of time. It gives the reader a little bit of overview of the city as well as some very summarized financial information. We're going to talk a little bit more detail than that tonight. But it is required to get that unmodified opinion, that letter be there, so that the readers can kind of get a little understanding of the city. On page 7 is something called the statement of net position. There's really 2 sets of financial statements in your audit report. There's a commercial way of looking at the city of Memphis, and then the traditional way that cities have reported in the way you budget. But that's where we're going to spend our time. Page 7 is the commercial way. And it basically, if you went to the bottom right-hand corner, if you were a corporation, you'd be worth just under $5 million. $4,865,000 is what your assets over your liabilities would be. One of the things I do point out is your city has no legacy costs. A lot of cities have promised benefits to employees So a lot of them are actually in deficits, and you have none of that, none of the promised legacy costs there, so that's very good. If you turn over to page 10, we'll start talking about the numbers there. The first column on page 10, this is your balance sheet. It gives a listing of your assets, liabilities, and fund balance as of June 30th, 2018. And you can see cash of around just under $80,000. Investments, you had $414,000, some receivables, so forth. Total assets of $668,032. You had liabilities of $35,000, normal accounts payable and accrued payroll and so forth, which left a fund balance as of June 30th, 2018 of $632,860. You can see that towards the bottom of that first column. Your major street is next to it. Your fund balance as of June 30th was $372,635. Your local street, $204,170. Your fire equipment replacement fund actually had $256,491 in fund balance as of the end of the year. All your other funds together, and we'll talk more about those, had fund balance of $180,000. If we turn over to page 13. 13 is the operating statement, just to shows how much revenue you brought in and what your expenditures were. For the year, you can see revenues of $782,184 for your general fund, the very first column. Your expenditures was $809,848, so there was expenditures over revenues of $27,664 before transfers and other items. When you take that into account, your general fund had expenditures over revenues for the year of $26,368. So a pretty good year. I know you had some capital outlay in there, numbers. Your major street there had revenues of $101,784. You had expenses of $99,000. You transferred $13,000 to your local street. So again, expenditures over revenues of $11,018. Your local street fund had $42,000 of revenue, $22,000 of expenses. The transfer from the major street come in, so you added $32,552 to your fund balance in your local street fund. Your fire equipment fund had revenues of $3,061. Then you can see some various transfers in and out. For the year, they actually had expenses over revenues of $969, so basically a pretty even year. On page, we'll just briefly touch on page 10.
10?
Or 16, sorry. Thank you. This is your statement of net position for your water and sewer fund. It's a business type fund where it's supposed to cover its cost. And you can see the assets and liabilities here, and it gets down to what they call net position. And basically, if you look at the very second to last line, it says unrestricted net position. You'd have about $344,406 that you needed to do a project or money for cash flow. That's similar to a fund balance number in your water and sewer fund. Page 18, or 17, sorry. 17. This is your operating statement for your water and sewer fund. You can see your water charges of around $147,000, sewer disposal charges of $129,206, other revenues of $65,226. They then list each of your expenditures, your wages and fringes, supplies, so forth. Total expenses of $304,786, interest earned of $2,820. So for the year, you actually had a net change in your position of a negative $18,860. But that's primarily due to depreciation, which doesn't require a cash outflow. It's the wear and tear of your equipment. There, 65. If you added 45,000. If you added that back, it would have been actually to the good about $23,000 there. So your water and sewer fund seems to be doing okay. There are a few other funds. If we turn to the back to page 37 and 38. This shows your what they call non-major government funds. you see your municipal street fund basically had a fund balance as of June 30th of $140,172. And you can see each of your equipment funds, your police equipment fund had a balance of $29,449 and your fund balance at the end of the year. The DPW equipment replacement, $4,042. The clerk treasurer equipment, $4,356. And the library equipment, $2,310. If you turn over to page 39 and 40, this just shows the operating statement for those funds, the money that you collected and paid out. Your municipal street fund collected about $47,567 this year. There were no expenditures out of the municipal street fund, so that meant you were revenues over expenditures of $47,567. Added to your beginning fund balance of $92,604, left your fund balance of $140,172. And you can see the activity for your police equipment fund, your DPW equipment fund, and so forth across there. Overall, everything looks pretty good. That's a real quick synopsis of the numbers. I also, in the back of the report, put a couple of letters. When we come up to your audit, not only do we audit the numbers, but we take a look at the accounting process there. The first letter says is what they call the independent auditor's report on internal control. And if we become aware of any what we call weaknesses that we think in the system, we're required to communicate it to the city council. There's only one area, and it's a technicality. Back when Enron was going on, they came up with an accounting standards that required every unit, whether it's a governmental unit or a commercial unit, to have somebody on staff to draft their own financial statements. Well, the clients that we deal with decide, that's what they hire us for, is to help you pull this all together. But it just says that you rely on us, you weigh the cost benefit of that, and it's more beneficial to the city to contract for that rather than have somebody on hand. Other than that, we didn't have any weaknesses in your internal control system. The second letter is what they call the audit communication letter. It just basically goes through and talks about whether we had any difficulties during the audit. As I started out, everybody's very cooperative. Over the years, we've had a very good relationship back and forth with your management team here, there, and it just kind of explains the audit situation. Also, when we get done, we go back to the office. It goes through a lot of review processes, and then we come out and we meet with the mayor and Mr. Wilson, we met with, and the clerk, and we go through it page by page. We basically probably spend a couple hours going through each and every page, talking about things. And if we talk about some recommendations that may help the process a little bit, we attach it to the back of the letter just so you can see it. There was a couple comments at the back here. They weren't weaknesses in your control, but just areas that we wanted you to think about for next year. Anything that I can answer that I didn't cover in my quick 10 or 15 minutes? I'd be more than happy to spend more detail if you'd like.
Well, we spent a couple hours with us, and I think we need to review it all and have a clear understanding what's there. And later on.
Everybody feel pretty comfortable with this? Paul, thank you, sir. I appreciate you keeping it brief. That was record time, I believe.
Okay. Thank you. It's a pleasure to work with you again.
Yeah, no problem. That's definitely, you make it easier for me, that's for sure. Of course, kind of pushes me through it and make sure that I may not understand, but I just nod in my head and figure that she knows what she's talking about.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thanks, Paul.
Thank you.
Well, I will say this, I think our management team here in the city did a great job this year, staying real close to the budget, and I think we got our money's worth for sure. Thank you. Communications, none received. No unfinished business, and new business. Planning Commission, appointment of members. Oh, I'm sorry, I guess I need a motion.
Yeah.
Approve the audit.
Yeah, I'll make a motion then that we approve the annual financial report or audit for the year ending June the 30th, 2018.
Support.
Stoops?
Yes.
Wilson?
Yes.
Zupas?
Yes.
Martyr, absent. Riley?
Yes.
Schneider,
Yes.
Sofa.
Yes.
Can I ask on the audit, is there a plus or minus from the budget?
I'll make, I got spreadsheets already made out. I just wanted to wait till he come tonight because we get a pre-book on it. So I'll bring that up to you, or I'll make those up and have them for the next meeting. And it'll kind of explain everything on the spreadsheet.
I think if you take the depreciation out, we were 21,000 to the good.
20, on the water and sewer, yeah, we were, I think, a little just over that, 22, about close to 22. And as you know, we did raise the rates effective October 1st. What we'd like to do is get that so that we cover depreciation fully, but it's not always easy to do. So we'll see what happens next year.
Okay. Planning Commission, appointment of members. We do this all with one motion, right?
On this we can, yes.
This one, yeah.
So we need a motion to appoint Steve Weaver back to the Planning Commission, his term to expire July of 2021, and appoint Ken Dunbar and Sandy Phillips with a term to expire in July of 2021. Anybody have any questions? Make a motion?
Make a motion to reappoint Steve Weaver and appoint Ken Dunbar and Cindy Phillips for their terms.
Support?
Wilson,
Yes.
Zupas,
Yes.
Martyr, absent Riley,
Yes.
Schneider,
Yes.
Sofa,
Yes.
Stoops.
Yes.
I do appreciate it, Ken, thank you.
Yeah.
Look forward to working with you.
Look forward to working with you.
Okay, zoning board of appeals. We need to reappoint William Sawyer and Howard Powers to zoning board of appeals, terms to end June 30th of 2022. Could I get a motion?
I'll make a motion to reappoint William Sawyer and Howard Powers to the zoning board of appeals for the term to end June 30th, 2022.
Support.
Zupas,
Yes.
Martyr, absent Riley,
Yes.
Schneider,
Yes.
Sofa,
Yes.
Stoops,
Yes.
Wilson.
Yes.
Okay, chief, you're up.
Good evening again. I'm here for the bullet-resistant vest that requesting. When I came into the department, the officers did not wear vests. I came in, was able to kind of scavenge some vests from Frazier that were still within tolerance, but they were administrative vests that were expiring this year. Every 5 years, it's recommended by the Department of Justice that police officers receive new bullet-resistant vests. Every call we go on, there's always a gun there. It's our gun. So what they recommend is that the vests be to the standard of what we carry, which are .40 caliber. Shortly after I started, I found out that there is a grant through the Department of Justice. I applied for it in May. It takes a long time. I was just notified October 3rd that we received the grant. It said we get up to a maximum of $6,360. What I did was, the prior chief had gone to CMP, which is in Lansing. They're a uniform distributor, guns, vests, everything. He had sold some old guns with the intention of switching to a different type of gun. I kept the same guns that we had, so we had a credit in there. As when I came in, I bought some flashlights, bought pepper spray, bought some holsters that the guys didn't have. So we still had a credit of $926. What I've done is, because of having that credit there, I went through them to get the vests, which are the same ones that we are currently using and that I always used. It's point blank. The distributor brought in a sample for us, and the vest we're wearing now, the thickness, it's half the size for thickness, so the wear comfort is better. It's cooler a little bit, but it's still the same tolerance for 2A, which is what they recommend for the .40 caliber gun. So what I'm looking at doing is taking out of our equipment fund. It's going to come to $6,385. We are able to get half of $6,360. The reason we went to the 85 was a couple of the officers have requested to wear outside vests. The carrier is a little bit more expensive, so it ran another $25. once it's all said and done, we're gonna order the vests tomorrow. They'll take about 8 weeks. We'll get them in. At that point, I take the money out of the equipment fund. I got a hold of the Department of Justice. The way they do it is, once we pay for the vests and we show we've paid for them, we submit our receipt, and then about 3 months they'll reimburse us the full amount, or the half of the amount. So altogether, we're gonna get $63.85 worth of vests for $2,278. And again, I wanna take it out of my equipment fund, which right now I have about $29,544. So to leave me, after we get the money reimbursed, after it's all said and done, I'll still have $27,265. My biggest thing is police officers. The biggest things you gotta have is you gotta have a gun, a vest, and a police car. And as the mayor said today, radio also, but I don't think it's right that any police officer not have a vest. I think we're running into a problem by continuing to use these vests. They'll still be good, but you gotta go with the every 5 years, so.
So just to recap, this the grant then is $6,360?
That's where we're half of that, yes.
Okay, or half that, yeah. And then what's gonna come out in equipment replacement is this 2278.7?
Well, right now I have to take out the 6385. So 6385 will come out,
Oh, you gotta take that? Oh,
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
and that'll pay for the vest, and then I'll submit the amount.
And we'll be reimbursed.
We will be reimbursed, yes, because the 926 is also in there that we have the credit for.
So the net effect though is 2278, is that
Yes,
correct?
that's what we will be out, after we get our money back, that'll be the money that we actually spend out of my equipment fund to buy the vests.
Yeah, okay.
And these are custom fit?
Custom fit, the guy already came out and measured us, he's just waiting for my call tomorrow. Like I said, 3 of the officers are gonna get the outside vests, and the rest of us are getting the inside. I'm still old school, I like the inside. I just think it looks, but the main one is, the new school officer wants the outside one. It's just a little more comfortable, and then 2 of the guys that don't work a ton of hours are gonna have the outside one. I believe that you go for all 8 vests. You don't just piecemeal and buy one guy, one vest, one guy. And from what you're never guaranteed, but it looks like these guys are gonna stay, and this girl, if they do end up leaving, we'll take the vest back and we can fit it to the next person. Won't be custom fit at that time, but it's good for 5 years.
I was just wondering, why is it 5 years? You're just wondering.
That's just what the Department of Justice says, and that started, when I first started in 1990 in this profession, we bought our own vests, and I wore my first vest for 12 years. Then they came in and said their standards, and that's when the department, Frazier, started buying us the vests every 5 years.
Yeah, I just wondered, like you said, how do they go bad? You know?
They can go bad just being in the cold and the heat. Most of the time we don't. I leave mine in my office, the guys carry them, leave them at home. So will it still work? Yes, probably. The problem is if we have an officer who's shot and something fails on the vest for any other reason and it's past the 5 years,
Yeah.
you can bet an attorney for that family or whoever will be.
Makes sense, yeah.
Okay, so the grant really, for us then, is $3,180 then. It's
What are you
half-
doing?
it's
Oh, you
half-
mean, yeah, I'm sorry, yeah, 3,180, yeah, yes. Yes, that's how much it is, but because we have that 926 in there, that puts it down. Yes, so our total amount we're gonna be out is 3,180, but as a matter of fact, for that CMP credit, it was 1 year was the expiration on it, and I contacted them before we had heard about the vests, and they said, you have to spend that money on something within the year because it's a credit. I said, well, here I have the vest grant, I'm probably gonna get it, but it's not gonna be till September, October. They said, we will hold that credit for you. So that money was, I've kind of already bought, not that you can't always buy more stuff, but I had already purchased the equipment we needed, so that 926 was just gonna go towards miscellaneous stuff.
So, Mr. Mayor, we'll need to accept the grant of $3,180 and then the expenditure of equipment replacement of $6,385.
Sounds good.
Dan,
Oh,
what do you do with the old vests?
They're not ours, so they're gonna be.
Oh, they're going back to Frazier?
Well, I'm gonna ask them, they probably are not gonna want them at that time. What we normally do is donate them to Macomb Police Academy or Oakland or whoever we might. I have 2 extra ones from them that we never wore, so I'll probably hold 1 or 2 of them just in case one of them doesn't fit, but I'm gonna offer it back to them first, see what they want.
Want to buy one?
Can't doubt I'll ever need a bulletproof vest.
But let's
You
forget,
never know, though.
Frazier, my old boss, was gracious enough to let us use those for the time being, because we had absolutely nothing. We had no vests at all in our department, so.
Party going on outside. Any more questions? Larry?
Okay, I'll make a motion to accept the grant in the amount of $3,180, and we do the expenditure of $6,385 out of equipment replacement for purchasing of vests. I don't know how many it was on there. but
8, I'm sorry, it's in there, I didn't say it first, but it's for 8. And that will cover every sworn officer in our department.
I support it.
Martyr absent, Riley,
Yes.
Schneider,
Yes.
Sofa,
Yes.
Stoops,
Yes.
Wilson,
Yes.
Lucas.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Chief. Halloween hours. So the whistle will blow at 6 o'clock and then blow at 8 o'clock, right?
Yes,
That's what we've always done. I guess we need a motion to set our hours.
Make a motion to set the hours for the Halloween from 6 to 8.
Support.
Riley,
Yes.
Schneider,
Yes.
Sofa,
Yes.
Stoops,
Yes.
Wilson,
Yes.
Lucas,
Yes.
Martyr absent.
Okay, from the mayor. I'm sure most people are aware of this by now, but I will mention it. There was a snafu with the water bills. They were sent out and somehow delayed. I heard that some people got both water bills on the same day, so we reprinted.
I got my second one today.
Oh, you did? Okay. We reprinted them and resent them out, and apparently maybe they caught up with each other in the mail or whatever happened, so sorry for the confusion. Definitely cannot blame our city staff. They had nothing to do with what happened, and they did the best they could with it. And I know there seemed to be a lot of consternation over something that seems pretty simple to me, but that's just me. I also wanted to just take a quick moment and thank Larry and Evelyn Wilson for this model that we have. I must tell you, Larry, that I looked at it before, but I didn't really look at it like I did the other day. And it really is amazing. I mean, the person who built the model did an incredible job, and I just think it's a real jewel.
Yeah, well, it's, I commissioned that back in about 2005. And he worked on it a little bit, and then he talked to me, and he worked on it, and then he'd throw that away and start over, and we did all the research we could, all the information we had, but we didn't have a picture, and so we had to improvise. And I did find a picture of a steam car that was built in Canada, I think it was Nova Scotia. Just prior to that, and I gave him a picture of that, but I told him that was made by a jeweler. This is made by a blacksmith. So you gotta understand, you can't do the same, because, blacksmith is, he may make a wagon with wheels and so on, way back at that time. So we had to do a lot of improvising and so on, and start and quit and start and quit. But he finally got it completed, and of course, I wrote a letter, and I wanted always to be with it, because if a picture ever shows up, we don't know whether, I don't think it will, but if it did, I want to understand that it may be accurate and it may be inaccurate, we don't know. But it's something that's a history of Memphis, and I feel it's something I wanted to do, because I've been in antique cars all my life, brass air cars back 1908, 1911, 12, and other cars. So I've been members of various car clubs. I've been treasurer of 2 car clubs, and at the same time, by the way. And so I have an interesting story in that, but I won't get into it now. But anyway, I'm glad we could do it. I didn't know if we'd ever reach the point of having even something here. But I wanted to do it before I died anyway, but so anyway, we got it here, and I hope it, I made 2 of them, by the way. I got one at home, and that one. And that one faces that way, mine faces the other way. I think someday it'll end up with the city, I don't know when, but I want to be here in Memphis, I want to stay in Memphis. Memphis is a town somewhat where I was born in, a small town in Canada. Although I was born in a farm 3 miles from town, and I love Memphis. It's kind of like my hometown. I've been here for, I don't know, 25 years or better, and so I hope it stays here forever and never leaves. So, and if the historical society goes out someday, I still want it here in the city. I want it here forever. So, anyway, that's my story.
Well, thank you, Alan, I really appreciate it.
Yeah.
It's wonderful.
Yeah, thank you.
Larry, do you have anything else?
Yes, I do. I got 2 things. One is that on our backhoe, the stabilizer cylinder broke, and where the stabilizer was out like this, so you couldn't drive it down the roads or anything like that. We don't have the final bill. It is prepared now. It was about $1,700, I'm sorry, plus installation. And so we don't have the final bill, but when we get it, I'll bring it back, we'll bring it back to council to get it approved. But I just wanted to make aware that it was an expenditure of $1,700. The second thing is, and we got a flyer back about a week ago, and this was also mentioned at a Scott's meeting that we had on last Wednesday. And there was a additional $300 million that the Lansing put out for roads. And it's going to be it'll be in 2 payments, and we received 1 payment already, or I think just the other day, and it was for $7,722.70. And we'll probably receive another payment in January or something like that, and that's at 51 money. So it's additional money. It's a $300 million. It's not a lot, but it's our portion. So, which I don't know, I didn't figure it out. Looks like about 0.5%, maybe, $300 million. So, anyway, better than nothing, right?
It's better than nothing.
It'll fill a few potholes. So, yeah. So okay.
That's it?
And that's it. That's what I have.
I will say that backhoe's actually done us pretty good for,
It has. I think that's the first major really thing
Yeah.
we had. There's a cylinder on both sides. This was, if you're sitting in it, it's on the right when that broke. And of course we can't be out of it because something might go wrong. And so Bart talked to me and I said, no, it has to be done.
Gotta have it.
Gotta have it. So, but we just don't have the final cost. But when we do it, I'll bring it back to get approval from council. That's all. That's all.
Ken? Nothing. Robbie?
I'm good, thanks.
Scott?
Nothing.
Jason?
Motion to adjourn.
Thank you.